Fantasy fanfiction. I sell agricultural dump trucks, you say I sell arms. Chapter 41. On the other side, Lu Ming didn't know that Jia Sha had given him another big gift. Today he came to the factory as usual. Old Zhao, have a cigarette. Entering the factory gate, Lu Ming entered the security room with ease. Then he reached out and picked up Wazi, which Lao Zhao had placed on the table. Pull one out, light it, and take a deep breath. Breathe, blow, feel good. Lu Ming sighed intoxicatedly. He himself doesn't smoke much, he is a dispensable person. But every time he passed by Lao Zhao, he couldn't help but touch one. Don't know why. I think Lao Zhao's cigarette smells good when he smokes it. Boss, is it appropriate for you to do this every day? Lao Zhao glanced at Lu Ming, then grabbed the cigarette box and complained. He conveniently put the cigarette into his pocket. Why is it inappropriate? Which one of us will follow the other? You seem to be in a good mood these past 2 days. That's necessary. During this period of time, Lu Ming was very proud of himself. The order was received softly and the money was transferred. The most important thing is that with the popularity of 3MX, no one is making fun of them as a military factory. Don't worry about selling arms, you can make solid money. Can he be unhappy? Let's go, old Zhao. I'll go to the office to check the finances. Lu Ming stamped out his cigarette butts, waved to old Zhao, and walked toward the factory. When he came to the office, Lu Ming called Song Kangming. Asked about the factory order. Currently, our company's main businesses include Desert Crosser and 3MX. Damao has delivered 1,500 desert crossing orders, and it is expected that all of them will be delivered by the end of the year. The remaining orders from General Yan, as well as orders from Yingjiang, France and other countries, will not be completed until the middle of next year. Orders for 3MX are also continuing to be booming. The orders from the 4 provinces of Shan and Shan alone have exceeded 10,000 vehicles. The total orders across the country have exceeded 50,000 vehicles. Almost 2,000 vehicles have been delivered so far. Oh, by the way, there are also steel pipes purchased by the Lebanese waterworks plant, which will be produced by the end of the month. Song Kangming reported the general situation of the factory to Lu Ming. There are currently nearly 500 million funds in the company's account. Once you have money in your hands, you won't panic. Boss, I think we should add a 3MX production line. Well, you go deal with it. Lu Ming listened to Song Kangming's words and nodded. 3MX's orders are so hot that it simply cannot supply them with its 2 previous production lines. Adding production lines is undoubtedly the best choice at the moment. Song Kangming's proposal was approved by Lu Ming, so he didn't stay too much. Instead, go and deal with the matter of increasing the production line. Add production lines, recruit new workers, process orders, and more. Song Kangming was very busy. However, seeing the factory's profits increasing day by day, he was also painful and happy. After Song Kangming left, Lu Ming sat in the office and stared at the computer. On the computer is the recent sales chart of 3MX. Looking at the skyrocketing orders, Lu Ming felt happy. After thinking about it, Lu Ming took out his mobile phone and logged into his Weibo. Then edited a post. Warmly celebrate that our factory's order for 3MX Mayan exceeds 50,000 units. Photo attached. Single quote. We do not produce arms, we are committed to agriculture, rural areas and farmers. Single quote. I speak for myself, we are an agricultural machinery factory. O's Agricultural Machinery Factory. Ao's Agricultural Machinery Factory, Ziyang City, Shanlu Province. Single quote. Choose farm machinery and look for O's. Good quality and low price, no kidding. Single quote. Lu Ming looked at the updates he edited and nodded with satisfaction. What a genius I am. Not only did they show off a wave of orders, but they also launched a wave of advertising. The most important thing is to prove with practical actions that this is an authentic agricultural machinery factory. The 3MX Mayong we produce is a serious agricultural 3-bouncer. Now that the sales volume has exceeded 50,000, no one should doubt the ingredients of our agricultural machinery factory. After Lu Ming finished posting, he didn't think much about it. Put your phone in your pocket and walk out of the office. He was going to take a look at the situation on the other side of the production line. See if there is any way to improve production efficiency. What he didn't know was that following his news, the internet exploded. Lu Ming's private Weibo account had a sharp increase in attention due to the desert traveler incident. From a handful at the beginning, to tens of millions of followers today. This growth rate is terrifying, even compared to big-name celebrities and internet celebrities. Therefore, as soon as Lu Ming's news was released, it quickly attracted the attention of many people. Originally there was nothing wrong with this dynamic. Announce the achievements of your own factory and advertise. This is nothing, but Lu Ming's mistake was that he emphasized that his factory was an agricultural machinery factory. By some mistake, he posted the wrong Weibo at the wrong time. Soon, Lu Ming's post attracted a large number of melon eaters. Agricultural machinery factory, are you sure? No, how can you be so embarrassed to say such a thing? Can you say this after looking at the more than 5,000 rockets that landed on Israel? PFF haha, Shentama Agricultural Machinery Factory, you probably don't know how useful your tap water pipes are. Can it be used easily? The country is almost crying. If you have the guts, you can tell yourself that you are an agricultural machinery factory in front of Israel, ha ha ha. Director Lu, guess why Hamas's rockets are 114mm caliber QAQ? What a coincidence, the steel pipes produced by us are 114mm in diameter, ha ha ha. Tell me a joke, Oz is an agricultural machinery factory. Director Lu, please stop advocating for yourself. Just clarify, otherwise you will really go in. I beg you to open your eyes and watch the news. Oz, we don't produce arms, we are just arms transporters. If you choose steel pipes, come to Oz. They are high quality, low price, and large in quantity. Hamas has said that they will use them. PFF'd. I'm so happy. I guess factory director Lu still doesn't know what happened, ha ha ha. I'm looking forward to what his expression will be like when he finds out about Israel. 233, Director Lu, your Ostau has almost become the Jerusalem in the eyes of Hamas. How about an agricultural machinery factory? This wave, Hamas gave you 666 likes. Ziyang steel pipe, Hamas has agreed to use it. Quote. Under Lu Ming's Weibo updates, many netizens left comments to ridicule him. The official press conference just held on the front foot, and you released such a news on the back foot. Isn't this hitting the muzzle? In the words of netizens, the steel pipes produced by any agricultural machinery factory can be used as rockets. Is your agricultural machinery factory serious? You are about to become the largest supplier of rockets in the Gaza belt, so why bother using an agricultural machinery factory to disguise yourself? Director Lu, recognize the reality. You are a military factory. Hamas said so. At noon, Lu Ming went to the factory cafeteria to eat. However, at this moment, Lao Jiao called to inform him that Yan Zhonglong was here. When Lu Ming heard what Lao Jiao said, his heart skipped a beat for no reason. Why did this big boss have time to come here? Nothing will happen again, right? But I haven't sold any arms recently. The only desert traveler has reported it, so there shouldn't be any mistakes. Lu Ming thought for a long time, but he didn't think of the reason why Yan Zhonglong came to him. You can't just nag yourself. After all, he is also the leader of the army in the Northern Theater, so he can't be so free. With doubts, Lu Ming asked Lao Jiao to bring the person to his office first. He was a little curious as to why Yan Zhonglong suddenly visited. When he arrived at the office, Lu Ming opened the door and saw Yan Zhonglong and Lian Xiaofeng sitting on the sofa. General Yan, what brought you here? Lu Ming walked into the office with a smile and greeted the other party. However, what he saw face to face was Yan Zhonglong's weird eyes and expression. Suddenly Lu Ming screamed in his heart that something was wrong. There's something wrong with this atmosphere. What's wrong? Lu Ming's smile froze on his face and he looked at the two of them suspiciously. Why do you look like this? Lu Ming sat cautiously on the sofa opposite Yan Zhonglong, a little worried. Don't look at me like that. I am afraid. I haven't done anything during this time, I am a good citizen. Lu Ming complained crazily in his heart. However, what Yan Zhonglong said next almost made Lu Ming jump up from the sofa. Xiao Lu, tell me the truth, what exactly is this factory of yours made of? Yan Zhanlong looked at Lu Ming and asked seriously. Are you sure that God didn't film you and torture me? I was called to Kyoto for a meeting early in the morning, just before dawn. After finishing the work, he rushed back in a hurry. After getting off the plane, I didn't dare to delay for a moment and went straight to Ziyang. I am as busy as a grandson, and the culprit is actually you. General Yan, what kind of ingredients can I have in this factory? This is an agricultural machinery factory. Lu Ming looked at Yan Zhanlong's somewhat unkind eyes and felt confused. Could this person have heard some rumors and come to investigate me? But I didn't do anything. Agricultural machinery factory. Sure. You sure. Sure and sure. Come on, look at this photo and say what you just said again. Yan Zhanlong took a photo on the table, and then motioned to Lu Ming to look at it. Lu Ming glanced at Yan Zhanlong suspiciously, then picked up the photo on the table. In the photo, a rocket was placed on the ground, and a line of large letters was written on the surface of the rocket with blue spray paint. Ao's Agricultural Machinery Factory, Ziyang City, Shanlu Province, GBT 3091-93. Lu Ming. This sudden photo silenced Lu Mingchen. What the hell? When did we produce rockets? General Yan, are you sure this photo is not of P? Do you think I will come to you if it's a P picture? But we are an agricultural machinery factory, how can we produce rockets? Lu Ming put down the photo and said with a confused face. Doesn't he know about his own factory? They produce desert traversers, 3MX Mayan, and even shovels and hoes. But the only thing they can't do is produce rockets. Isn't it nice to make money while lying down? Why should he risk his life to sell arms? He is not plagiarizing Guevara Joe. Going in is just like going home. When you are full, you will be able to produce this thing. To tell you the truth, the Hamas armed forces in the Gaza area implemented a plan called a sack flood early last night, and launched a large number of rockets against Israel. Yan Zhanlong's expression was intriguing and he said with meaning. This photo was taken from an unexploded rocket in the area where Israel was attacked. Lu Ming. So, what does this have to do with me? Could you please stop looking at me with such suspicion? Jiazan is thousands of miles away from Ziyang. What's the use of telling me this? I wonder if we have any business in Josha. I'm just the director of an agricultural machinery factory, and I earn a little money by selling some 3 bouncers. What do you want me to do with the grudge between Josha and Yi Guo? General Yan, you don't suspect me of smuggling arms, do you? Lu Ming looked at Yan Zhanlong with wide eyes. That innocent expression seems to be saying, do you think I am that kind of person? I'm not doubting you, I'm sure. Yan Zhanlong glanced at Lu Ming and said helplessly. What the hell? Lu Ming couldn't sit still now. He suddenly stood up from the sofa. General Yan, we are old acquaintances. Will I not smuggle arms? It's a shame that I got you an order for 500 bobcats before. You doubt me so much. And do you think I'm that stupid? If I really provided these rockets, would I write such a line on it and report myself to my home? Lu Ming was anxious. This is not a joke. If one person fails, he will go in for the rest of his life. He has not enjoyed enough of the enthusiasm of youth. He hasn't led Oz to become a Fortune 500 company yet. He has not yet achieved Shah's goal of integrating agricultural machinery. He hasn't had sex yet, he hasn't had sex with a girl yet. Ahem. He was saying that he still had too many goals to achieve, so how could he get in so easily? You really don't know. I really do not know. Okay, let me give you a heads up. Yan Zhanlong picked up the photo, pointed to the row of numbers on it and said. You are familiar with this, right? It corresponds to galvanized welded steel pipes for low-pressure fluid transportation, commonly known as water pipes. Water pipe. What does the water pipe have to do with me? Etc. Water pipe. Suddenly, Lu Ming seemed to think of something, and his eyes widened in disbelief. Noticing the change in Lu Ming's expression, Yan Zhanlong put down the photo and looked at Lu Ming playfully. I got it. I got it. Lu Ming nodded subconsciously. It seems that he has seen this scene before from civilian use to military use. Wasn't it the same thing with the desert traveler last time? The big hair is weak and the second hair is crazy, and the fighting nation has a cold heart. Agricultural vehicles and military vehicles are really good, and one order can cross the ocean. The front gun and the rear gun were flying, and Mao Zi used it to speak directly. He cursed in his heart for smuggling arms into the middle hall. I am working on agriculture, rural areas and agriculture here, but you are stabbing me in the back thousands of miles away. Lu Ming never dreamed that the steel pipes produced by his factory would one day be used on the battlefield. The straight water pipes I produce are not for you to make rocket bombs. As big as world, nothing is non-existent. Sure enough, human creativity is unparalleled. Even Lu Ming couldn't help but admire the wisdom of the people of Jiaxia. General Yan, is this why you came here this time? After understanding everything, Lu Ming looked at Yan Zhanlong. Yan Zhanlong almost twisted his nose when he heard this. What's all this about? Isn't this a big deal? Do you know that I have already walked around Kyoto for you? Do you know that for you, the top brass of the military region held a supreme military meeting overnight? Do you know that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is still quarreling internationally because of you? Yan Zhanlong really wanted to pry open Lu Ming's head and see how amazing the brain circuits inside were. Lu Ming took one look at Yan Zhanlong's dark old face and knew that he might have said the wrong thing. Although he was involved in the incident in a daze, he had the experience of the last big incident, so he could imagine that the higher-ups were worried about this matter. Thinking of this, Lu Ming actually felt a little ashamed. What a sin. I just sell a steel pipe. Who would have thought of adding yarn and using this thing to make rockets? But then again, it's really not his fault. When the contract was signed, the other party said it was a water company. Who would have thought that this water company supplies water to the Jiaxia area? So, it's not me who's wrong, it's the world. If your kid is doing this kind of international business in the future, do some research, otherwise I'm really afraid that you will get in one day. Yan Zhanlong smiled bitterly and said helplessly. Lu Ming spread his hands, feeling equally helpless. General Yan, this is going to be difficult for me. When we signed the contract, they said it was a water company, and they didn't say they were going to build rockets. But then again, now that he knows that the other party uses his own steel pipes to make rockets, will he still sell the steel pipes? General Yan, what about my steel pipe? Sell. Before Lu Ming could finish speaking, Yan Zhanlong rushed to answer. The situation now is even more serious than it was with Damao. First of all, what Lu Ming sells at Damao is a car. Although Lao Maozi has installed a rocket launcher, it is still essentially a vehicle. But this time, the steel pipes sold by Lu Ming turned into rockets and directly participated in the Hamas armed attacks on Israel, causing a lot of human and economic losses to Israel. So far, even though Rabbit has announced the truth of the matter, the storm of international public opinion has not stopped. The countries headed by Yingzhong all thought that Rabbit was quibbling. Steel pipe hand-rubbed rocket. Are you kidding me? It must be Rabbit who is secretly supporting the Jiaxia area under the guise of steel pipes. Similar statements are widespread. If Lu Ming suddenly stops selling steel pipes at this time, wouldn't it mean that he has a guilty conscience and has confirmed Yingzhong's public opinion attack? The higher-ups are naturally aware of such stupid things. In addition, although what happened this time was outrageous, in the final analysis it really had little to do with Lu Ming. They just go about their business peacefully, selling steel pipes. Just like a kitchenware seller. Someone bought a kitchen knife from you, and then he used the kitchen knife to kill someone. Can you say that it is the responsibility of the person who sells kitchenware? Isn't this nonsense? The top management is not a weakling. Although they take the overall situation into consideration, they will not limit their own business due to external pressure. So Yan Zhanlong received instructions from the top before he came. It probably means that Lu Ming can sell with confidence and boldness. Just run it how it works in business, don't worry about anything else. Everything is covered by the state. With your words, I feel relieved. Lu Ming breathed a sigh of relief after hearing Yan Zhanlong's words. But soon, Lu Ming thought of something and his expression became very exciting. Why do you have such an expression, kid? Do you have any worries? Yan Zhanlong saw Lu Ming's expression and didn't know why. I just thought Lu Ming was worried about something. Lu Ming turned his head stiffly and said with a smile. I suddenly remembered that I sent a Weibo message before you came. What's wrong with posting on Weibo? I specifically emphasized on Weibo that we are an agricultural machinery factory. Yan Zhanlong. Hearing Lu Ming's words, Yan Zhanlong was stunned. Do you know how to predict the future? If you don't emphasize it early, you won't emphasize it later, but it's just now that you emphasize it. Now that's it, the internet is definitely going crazy. Thinking of the turbulent public opinion, Yan Zhanlong couldn't help but gloat. If you don't do it, you won't die. You kid, handle it yourself. Yan Zhanlong patted his butt and walked away gracefully. In the office, Lu Ming was left standing there in despair. He took out his cell phone several times and did not open it several times. No way. Not enough confidence. He just showed off a wave of sales of 3mx Mayan, emphasizing that he is an agricultural machinery factory. As a result, their steel pipe was turned into a rocket projectile. You don't need to think about it to know that your Weibo must be very lively. Those unkind netizens still don't know how to make fun of him. After hesitating for a long time, Lu Ming opened his Weibo. There is no way, you have to face it. Especially at times like this, he couldn't remain silent. At the very least, you have to stand up and take a stand. Sure enough, Lu Ming saw a familiar trend as soon as he entered the Weibo homepage. It's exactly what he posted on Weibo before. It's just that at this time, it has been given a prominent position as the #1 hot search by enthusiastic netizens. Lu Ming's scalp suddenly became numb. I'm new here, I don't know. Is this the Weibo of the director of the AOS military factory? That's right. AOS specializes in the production of rockets. I speak for myself, we are a military factory. AOS military industry. AOS military manufacturing factory in Ziyang City, Shanlu Province. 233, it made me laugh so hard. Director Lu just said he was an agricultural machinery factory, and then he was slapped in the face, haha. I guess Director Lu's expression must be very exciting at this time. The steel pipes from our AOS that were used in Jia Shah's Asak flood plan are so awesome, but I'm so proud of them. Ha ha ha. Now the tap water has really turned into a flood. The water pipes carry tap water, and the tap water collects into floods. There's nothing wrong with you, old man. Director Lu, you still said you were an agricultural machinery factory. I wouldn't be surprised at all if I heard that Oslo became a Fortune 500 company by selling steel pipes. Rheinmetall will be the best if you are big, and Ziyang Steel Pipe will be the best if you are poor. It's not that Rheinmetall cannot afford it, but Ziyang Steel Pipe is more cost-effective. Ziyang Steel Pipe, who knows how to use it? Hamas has agreed to use it. In the office, Lu Ming looked at the comments on his Weibo and his face turned green. This time, it's yellow mud stuck to my crotch, it's hard to say shit. But now that the matter has reached this point, we can only issue a statement to clarify it. Anyway, Yan Zhanlong also said that steel pipes can be sold boldly without worrying too much. So, Lu Ming thought for a while and posted another Weibo update. Our factory declares again, we are an agricultural machinery factory. Single quote. Previously we did export a batch of GBT 3091-93 feet model steel pipes to the Middle East, but the buyer was a water company in a certain country. Single quote. In short, these steel pipes are used for pipeline laying. Single quote. As for how it fell into the hands of others and how it was transformed into rockets, our factory does not know. Single quote. In addition, customers have traveled thousands of miles to purchase steel pipes from our factory, which fully illustrates a problem. Single quote. That means our products are of high quality and low prices. Single quote. When buying steel pipes, look for AOS and you will be satisfied. Single quote. Finally, due to commercial confidentiality reasons, we are not in a position to disclose which country the water company belongs to. Single quote. But definitely not gauze. Not adding yarn. Not adding yarn. Single quote. Our steel pipes are civilian products, not military products. Not military products. Not military products. Single quote. Say important things 3 times. Single quote. Please eat melons rationally, that's all. Single quote. After Lu Ming's Weibo was published, it was also reposted on the official website of Lu Mingbrand Factory. Anyway, I have to issue a statement to clarify, so it's not too much for me to explain something while clarifying. Our steel pipes can be used to make rockets. Isn't it easy to transport tap water? If you need anything, please contact us immediately. After Lu Ming's news was released, it quickly attracted the attention of netizens. After all, the Ziyang steel pipe is very popular at this time, so there is no need to worry about no flow. However, netizens were dumbfounded when they saw Lu Ming's Weibo statement. What the hell? You still have the nerve to say that you are an agricultural machinery manufacturer. While clarifying, you also advertised and sold your own steel pipes. It's you, Director Lu. 666, this ad is a 6. Nah. Are you making such a serious statement about selling steel pipes? You deserve to make money. It's now time, so don't bring any private goods. Please stop bringing goods. I know your steel pipe treatment is good. How much does it cost for me to buy it? Can't I do it? Business genius QAQ. Ha ha ha. It's a country in the Middle East, but it's definitely not Joshua. Director Lu has a strong desire to survive. Say important things 3 times, it's not military products. It's not military products. It's not military products. I'm so happy, haha. We also want to be rational, but conditions don't allow it. That's right. It's hard for us to believe that you are an agricultural machinery factory under the current circumstances. Yes, an agricultural machinery factory, that specializes in producing rockets. Quote. Netizens saw Lu Ming's post. First glance. Quite decent and decent. Second glance. This seems to be a statement, but it is actually an advertisement. As expected of you, Boss Lu. If you don't make money with this crazy operation, who will? With the help of netizens, Ao's agricultural machinery factory became popular again. After Desert Crosser, Ziyang steel pipe has also become popular all over the internet. In the next few days, things continued to ferment, and the popularity continued to rise. After Lu Ming issued a statement to clarify the facts, he did not continue to pay attention. On the contrary, the steel pipes are sold as they should be. Although this incident is frightening, it is also a good thing for Ao's agricultural machinery factory. Ever since the topic of Ziyang steel pipe became popular, orders for steel pipes in their factory suddenly skyrocketed. This is a complete unexpected gain. Lu Ming and Song Kangming were so happy. Although the profit of the steel pipe is not as good as that of the Desert Crosser and 3MX Mayan, it can't stand up to the large volume of this thing. Small profits but quick turnover is the principle. Lu Ming's life here is quite comfortable, but the country over there is nothing like Muggles. Without him. In the past few days, the Hamas resistance organization has launched rocket attacks on them whenever they have nothing to do. They suffered huge losses. The reputation of the former Middle Eastern bully has plummeted. So many surrounding countries are also ready to take action, which makes Israel even worse. Of course, Israel is not sitting still. They also launched a crazy revenge on the Gaza Strip. This includes sending troops in and fighter jets bombing large facilities such as schools and hospitals. A series of Israeli retaliations caused heavy casualties to civilians in the Gaza Strip, and international public opinion followed. Many people have condemned Israel's butchery behavior, which has made the situation they face even more serious. Asshole. Haven't you found out their transportation channels yet? In the office, Salman Habaka, the top Israeli military commander, slammed the table angrily and yelled at other officers. Everyone else in the room lowered their heads with guilt upon hearing this and remained silent. After they learned that Hamas rockets were made of steel pipes, they immediately blocked the transportation channel for the yarn. Steel pipes of any type are prohibited from entering yarn-added areas. However, the effect is not ideal. Steel pipes are building materials, and there is already a lot of inventory in the Joshua area. Plus it's not difficult to transport this thing. The underground secret tunnels in the Joshua area extend in all directions. How easy is it to prevent the inflow of steel pipes? General, although we have not investigated the specific force that is helping Joshua transport the steel pipes, we can confirm that its allies must be from the Arc of Resistance. The Arc of Resistance was originally an organization supported by Yin Lang behind the scenes to resist Yingzhong imperialism. Its members all have bloody historical grievances with Yingzhong, such as the Lebanese Democratic Party, the Houthis Armed Forces, etc. The Hamas resistance group is also among them. Now that the country is serving as a nail in the Middle East for Eagle Sauce, it is naturally also among those suppressed by the Ark of Resistance. So it is not unreasonable for Israel to be so suspicious. It's just that there are too many members of the Ark of Resistance, and they don't know who is secretly supporting the Hamas resistance organization. Hearing the officer's answer, Salman almost ran out of breath and fainted. Should I remind you of this obvious thing? Don't I know that the Ark of Resistance must be behind this? The key is that you have to find out who it is. We can't let them start a war with the entire Ark of Resistance, right? Even with the support of Eagle Sauce, Salman doesn't have the courage. As time goes by, the war between the Hamas resistance organization and Israel in the Gaza area intensifies. Both sides suffered huge losses from the war. Due to the Israeli blockade and bombing in the Gaza area, the number of civilian casualties is shocking. And the situation in Israel is not much better. The Hamas resistance organization launched rocket attacks from time to time, which made them miserable. Moreover, when the war reached this point, Israel also encountered the same embarrassing problems as Irmao. At the beginning, because of the desert crossing car, it was not worth 2 cents, and it was nothing if it was not worth 2 cents. The same is true now in Israel. Facing the rockets launched by the Hamas resistance organization, their Iron Dome air defense system is not capable of intercepting them, nor is it capable of intercepting them. Intercept it, lose. If you don't intercept it, you'll be even more at a loss. The rockets of the Hamas resistance organization are modified from steel pipes and are low cost. According to Israeli calculations, a rocket launched by the Hamas resistance organization only costs about $800 at most. On the other hand, their Iron Dome interceptor missiles cost $80,000 each. The Iron Dome air defense system is indeed excellent. But even this country cannot afford this huge cost difference of 100. In addition, the number of rockets launched by the Hamas resistance organization is very large every time, which is a direct saturation strike. This makes Israel a little bit overwhelmed. So Yigyu found the backer Ying Jong. Yigyu, I can't hold on anymore, Daddy, help me. Yingjong, my eldest son, you are not short of money, how can you not survive? Israel, Hamas costs 800 for a rocket, and we cost 80,000 for an interceptor missile. Eagle Sauce, Nani. Yigyu, save me, Dad. Yingjong, I haven't got out of Irmao's side yet, I can't make a move. Yigyu, it doesn't matter. I have a plan. Eagle Sauce, what's the plan? Yigyu, since you can't solve the problem of those who transport steel pipes, then solve the problem of steel pipe suppliers. Eagle Sauce, do you want to fight Rabbit? Eagle Sauce, are you crazy? Yingjong, even I don't dare to provoke the Rabbit too much. Where do you get the confidence? When Yingjong heard about Yigyu's so-called plan, he felt bad. Where do you have the courage to provoke rabbits? Didn't you know that rabbits can bite when they are cornered? Back then, all 17 of my cousins were pressed to the ground by rabbits and rubbed against each other. You want me to help you beat the rabbits? Yingjong, son, listen to my father's advice, you really can't afford to offend Rabbit, don't make it your own fault, be good. Yigyu, I'm not trying to fight the Rabbit. Yingjong, as long as you don't attack the Rabbit, what do you think you're going to do? Yigyu, I hope Dad can join me in boycotting Rabbit's steel pipe factory. Eagle Sauce, boycott the steel pipe factory. Hearing Yi Guo's proposal, Yin Yang's eyes lit up. Yes, since you can't solve the problem of those who transport steel pipes, then solve the problem of steel pipe suppliers. I can't afford to mess with rabbits, but I can't handle your small steel pipe factory. We don't want to fight the Rabbit head on, so we will boycott your steel pipe factory. As long as no one buys your steel pipes, wouldn't all the problems be solved? Yingjong immediately said, good son, your plan is good, Dad agrees. So Yingjong turned around and contacted his subordinates, preparing to boycott Rabbit's steel pipe factory together. Soon, Eagle Sauce and Israel issued a joint statement. The general meaning is that Rabbit has an Oz agricultural machinery factory, which specializes in the production of steel pipes to supply the yarn area to manufacture rockets. This behavior seriously endangers regional security and world peace and must be boycotted. Therefore, we urge you not to buy any of their products. Especially steel pipes. If anyone buys it, it will be difficult for me to deal with Yinjiang. You should weigh it yourself. As soon as the joint statement between Yinjiang and Israel was issued, Yinjiang's younger brothers agreed one after another. After the news broke, there was an international uproar. Yinjiang, don't buy rabbit steel pipes. Yigyu, yes, don't even buy it. Whoever buys it doesn't give my father face. Buy Shangguo, if you don't want to buy rabbits, buy mine. I have a lot of steel pipes. Yu Guo, brother Shang, you are really not afraid of death. Kangaroo country, white elephant, please clarify the format before speaking. Damao, one sentence offends two people. White elephant, you are braver than our fighting nation. Baba Yang, steel pipes are civilian products. Why do you boycott my elder brother's steel pipes? Bangzigyu, definitely not buying it. Foot pot chicken, although I don't know what's going on, I won't buy it if my dad says I won't buy it. Damao, the two of you upstairs, I advise you to say less. The rabbit is not far away from you. Be careful and the steel pipe will pull it directly to your house. Philippines, I definitely won't buy it. Who asked him to water me with a water gun? Internationally, Yinjiang's followers have responded and boycotted any products of O's agricultural machinery factory. Countries or forces that do not belong to the Yinjiang camp have turned into melon-eating masses, wanting to see how the rabbit will be dealt with. The news spread back to China, and the rabbit was furious. That's too much. Do you also boycott civilian products? It's so shameless. Shagguo's senior officials immediately held a meeting regarding this incident. Yan Zhanlong also told Lu Ming the news. After Lu Ming heard what Yan Zhanlong said, he was stunned. Blanche, you can't afford to ride a horse, can you? You don't have the ability to block the transportation of steel pipes, so you are asking me for trouble. The truth is that since there is no way to solve the problem, then solve the person who raised the problem. Now Lu Ming was unhappy. If the tiger doesn't show its power, you think I'm a sick cat. Lu Ming immediately gave Yan Zhanlong a trick to make him sick. Lu Ming knew very well that the reason why Yinjiang took the lead in boycotting him was simply because there was no way to restrict the flow of steel pipes into the Jiaxia area. Since there is no way to limit the inflow of steel pipes, then cut off the source. I have to say that Yinjiang's plan is very insidious. But you have your plan, and I have my ladder. I won't let you get what you want. Yan Zhanlong's eyes lit up after hearing Lu Ming's plan. Immediately reported this matter to senior management. When the senior management heard this, they also called him a good guy. If this plan is implemented, Takajong will be so angry that he will vomit blood. The rabbit immediately found Damao. During the fight between Damao and Mao, he was often criticized by Yinjiang. So when Rabbit told Damao about his plan, Damao readily agreed. The 5 big and 3 thick hairs showed a sinister expression. The rabbit looked at it and smiled. It is more than words. Just when the international melon eaters didn't react when they saw the rabbit, they thought the rabbit had given up. Rabbit suddenly made a big move. On the same day, Rabbit held a press conference and publicly stated, "Get out of the way. We want to provide humanitarian assistance to the Gaza area." At the press conference, Shah's diplomatic spokesperson disclosed the fact that humanitarian assistance would be provided to the Gaza region in front of many media. In view of the intensification of the conflict in Gaza, we learned that schools, hospitals and other facilities in the Gaza area were bombed and severely damaged. In addition, considering the lack of water and electricity in the Jissa area, the conflict between the two sides has seriously affected the normal life of Jissa residents. As a responsible government official in Shah State, we have decided to provide humanitarian assistance to the Gaza area based on the principle of pacifism. The aid includes medical supplies, food, fresh water, clothing. What is speech skills? This is called speaking skills. What is professionalism? This is called professionalism. The Shah Kingdom's diplomatic spokesperson seemed to be talking about humanitarian assistance to the Gaza region. In fact, they all point to the butchery behavior of Israel. He did not mention Yigyu in a single word, and did not leave Yigyu in a sentence. Schools, hospitals and other facilities were bombed. Who was bombed by? Is there no water or electricity in the Jiaxia area? Who caused it? Everyone knows these questions without even thinking about them. After listening to Rabbit's press conference, many melon-eating people called him brilliant. Eagle Sauce resisted Rabbit's steel pipe factory with its front legs, and Rabbit retaliated in kind with its hind legs. Aren't you boycotting our steel pipe factory just to help your dear brother? Why? Then I will help your son's archenemy. Or help in the name of humanitarian aid. However, Yinjiang has always flaunted and shouted about human rights. As expected of you, Rabbit. When it comes to evildoers, no one can compare to you. If you don't take action easily, you will kill the enemy with one move. Sure enough, as soon as Rabbit made the statement, both Yinjiang and Yigyu's faces turned green. Why so angry? When Rabbit provides humanitarian aid to the Jissa area, he is obviously going against him. He is disgusting. From the bottom of his heart, Yinjiang definitely didn't want Rabbit to assist the Jissa area. But I have nothing to say. By refusing Rabbit's humanitarian aid, isn't this a slap in the face of one's own human rights? But I agree, it's quite disgusting. Not to mention how uncomfortable Yinjiang is. The Israeli side was also very angry. Rabbit, your humanitarian aid is just aid, what about schools and hospitals? Are you connoting me? A statement is just enough to point its finger at Israel and yell at them for their butcher behavior. This made the national spirit jump to its feet. But just like Yinjiang, he couldn't refute it. Because it's true. Of course, if Rabbit's approach was considered subtle and gentle, then Da Mao could be said to have slapped Yi Guo in the face with his big mouth. After Rabbit issued the statement, Israel immediately responded. Israel claims, no country or force is allowed to enter the Gaza area without their permission, otherwise you will be responsible for the consequences. Any means of transport, including ships, planes, land vehicles, etc., that break into the blockade without authorization will be attacked by Israel. As soon as Israel's statement came out, international public opinion was instantly confused. Is Israel crazy? Do you dare to block humanitarian aid? Suddenly, the world was full of verbal and written criticism of Israel. However, this is also a helpless move for Israel. Didn't they blockade the Gaza area and cut off water and electricity just to weaken Hamas and force it to surrender? If these support materials are allowed in, wouldn't their previous blockade be in vain? It is impossible for Israel to see all the efforts it has expended in the past go to waste. However, Israel never dreamed that it would take less than half an hour after they issued the statement. Da Mao issued a statement. Da Mao's statement is much simpler than that of Rabbit. Just one sentence. We have decided to provide humanitarian assistance to the Gaza area, and 5 military transport planes have taken off. Mao Xiang's statement was simple yet domineering. This is less like a statement and more like a notice. Just point at Israel's nose and say, I'm bringing supplies on a plane, you have the ability to kill me. After seeing Mao Xiang's statement, Israel only weakly condemned it. When other countries look at Israel's cowardice, it is obvious that it is a paper tiger. They look tough but actually have a guilty conscience. I'm still worried about a hammer. Direct humanitarian aid to Gaza. As for Yinjiang, no one is worried. Under the guise of humanitarian aid, even if Yinjiang didn't want to, he couldn't refuse it openly. Besides, no one is stupid. Rabbit's move is a conspiracy. Everyone has said that the residents of the Gaza area are living in dire straits and need assistance. What do you mean if I help you but don't help me? Don't you treat people from the Gaza area as human beings? Not maintaining world peace? Or are you saying that your humanitarianism is fake? All countries know that instead of shouldering such pressure from public opinion, it is better to provide humanitarian aid to Gaza. At least it can gain some good reputation internationally. At this time, there was a military airport somewhere in the southern part of the front line of Mao Xiang country. General, isn't it a little too rash for us to send military planes like this? An officer looked at the military transport plane taking off and said with some concern. Soloviev sneered disdainfully upon hearing this. What's so rash? What if I just sent a plane over? He shot him down with state-owned skills. Did they dare to lend him some courage? It's not that Soloviev looks down on Yigyu, but that Yigyu really doesn't have the guts. Even if Yigyu is really not afraid of death, Yinjiang will not agree. Soloviev is not stupid, and neither are the top management of Mao Xiang. Everyone knows that the country of Israel is just trying to support fat people, but they don't dare to take action. Moreover, the war between them and Mao had the shadow of Yingzhong behind it. Yingzhong wants to use Mao to drag them into the quagmire of war, then they can also support Joshua in turn, and then use Israel to contain Yingzhong. This great opportunity has come to your doorstep, and you won't give it up unless the furry bear is crazy. Besides, I have a good impression of that agricultural machinery factory. Soloviev smiled and patted the officer on the shoulder, then turned and left. They were able to gain such a huge advantage in the battle with Mao, and the Ao's agricultural machinery factory also helped a lot in disguise. Until now, Mao Yi is so angry that he curses his mother when he sees their desert traveler. So if you can help, please help. Providing humanitarian assistance to Gosha is killing two birds with one stone. Soloviev was naturally happy to help. After the announcement from Rabbit, there was celebration in the country. It's not that the domestic people feel sorry for the residents of the Gaza area, but to relieve anger. Didn't you Yingzhong boycott us? Then we will support adding yarn. This is a plan to draw fire from the bottom of the cauldron. Just when netizens were lamenting the Rabbit's brilliance, a statement from Ao's agricultural machinery factory added to the fire. In response to the national call, our factory decided to donate materials worth 10 million to the Joshua area. Single quote. As soon as this news came out, netizens were shocked. What the hell? Your supply package doesn't include steel pipes. 666, I just like factory director Lu's bad temper, ha ha ha. Just donate steel pipes. Thinking about 10 million steel pipes is exciting. Director Lu, please remember to send steel pipes with a diameter of 114 millimeters. There is no other reason than that Hamas likes it. Steel pipes are civilian products. Let's donate some to the people in the Joshua area to improve infrastructure and improve the quality of life. There is nothing wrong with it. It fully meets the standards of humanitarian assistance. Hehe. Let's donate steel pipes to help add gas to connect tap water. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm afraid your tap water will eventually collect into a flood. Quote. As soon as the announcement from the Ao's agricultural machinery factory came out, it instantly ignited domestic public opinion. At this time, who didn't know about the boycott of Ao's agricultural machinery factory? However, Lu Ming proved with his actual actions that although we are a small factory, not everyone can handle it. If you Yingzhong resists me, then I will disgust you in another way. Just asking, are you angry? Not long after Lu Ming's announcement was sent out, Yan Zhonglong called. Ask Lu Ming what he meant. You don't really want to donate steel pipes, do you? On the phone, Yan Zhonglong said this. Don't doubt it. Based on his knowledge of Lu Ming, this kid could really do such a thing. How is that possible? I'm not stupid. Lu Ming smiled. He would rather donate some steel pipes to Hamas. But the problem is that it is now well known that Hamas uses steel pipes to make rockets. In this case, it is impossible for Israel to put steel pipes in. Israel may not have the guts to block Rabbit's humanitarian aid. But if you support steel pipes, Israel will definitely explode. Lu Ming knew this very well, so the support supplies were filled with daily necessities. Aren't you afraid that the country of Israel will cause trouble for you? Tisk, that's like saying they will let me go if I don't donate. You kid, okay, someone will come over to transport your batch of supplies later, prepare to load it into the truck. After saying that, Yan Zhonglong hung up the phone. Lu Ming didn't waste any time and put the materials purchased in advance into categories in the warehouse, to make it easier for the soldiers to load their cars. As for how these materials enter the Joshua area after loading, that is not something Lu Ming needs to worry about. I think the higher-ups must have figured out a solution. In the following days, humanitarian aid supplies from various countries to the Gaza area began to arrive. Rabbits take the sea route here. When many countries and regions saw the rabbits entering, they also followed the rabbits into the Gaza area. The most high profile among them is Da Mao. It should be said that Mao Shang is really bad-tempered. 5 military transport planes passed through the Israeli blockade area and flew directly into Gaza to airdrop supplies. Seeing Da Mao's military plane flying in with such swagger, Yigyu didn't even dare to fart. Suddenly, Israel's tough statement became the butt of international ridicule. And Israel's prestige has plummeted internationally. Although Yi Guo was angry, there was nothing he could do. With the arrival of support materials from various countries, the residents of the Jissa area finally saw the light of day. A war reporter recorded this moment through his camera. On the ruined streets, countless residents of Jissa rushed to tell each other. Everyone's face was filled with the expression of surviving a disaster. Many Gaza soldiers and civilians even followed the material transport vehicles along the way to worship devoutly as if on a pilgrimage. They have been blocked for too long, and these supplies are like a ray of sunshine in the darkness. Gave them the courage and hope to persevere again. Many Gaza residents were in tears. Many people were filled with emotion when they saw the appearance of the residents of Jissa. This country is not a human being. This is a plan to starve the 2.1 million people in the Jissa area to death in the blockade area. Israel is an outsider. They invaded other people's homes, and now they want to drive them out and kill them all. It's really shameless. Why? Etc. Why does this picture feel so familiar? Yingjiang. You guys should just call me by my name. That's right. It's just a mere understatement. If we hadn't driven out the Indians, would there be a free country today? Should we say that Yingjiang and Yigyu deserve to be father and son? Even the methods of founding the country are exactly the same. At the same time, the Gaza region has received a lot of humanitarian aid. Halia, the top leader of the Hamas resistance organization, also breathed a sigh of relief. Ever since they launched the Asak flood revenge plan. Although they severely damaged Israel's arrogance, their own losses were also considerable. Almost every day in Gaza, you can see Israeli fighter planes flying through the sky and dropping bombs one after another. But there was nothing they could do. Without air superiority, the Hamas resistance group could only fire rockets in retaliation. Both sides suffered huge losses. However, with the support of state-owned Eagle Sauce and its allies, they can only resist on their own. The pressure on Halia's side can be imagined. Now that the support supplies have arrived, Halia is finally relieved. Chief, this is the list of supplies to support us. In a secret underground facility, Dayev handed the compiled list to Halia. Halia took the list and looked at it carefully. Rabbits, woolly bears, baba sheep, Seville and other countries are all on the list. And at the bottom of this list, there is a name that is incompatible with these countries. O's Agricultural Machinery Factory. Halia was stunned when she saw the name. Deifu, why is there a factory's name on it? Halia looked at Dayev suspiciously. Dai Yifu smiled and said, Chief, this is the company that sold us the steel pipes. As soon as Dayev said these words, Halia understood instantly. He said that the name seemed familiar. Emotions are their trading partners. And what really moved Halia was that O's Agricultural Machinery Factory was the only non-state enterprise on this list. Businesses are different from countries. Every country, no matter how big or small, has sovereignty. Even Yingjiang would not dare to sanction a country without any reason. But companies are different. Eagle Sauce may not be able to control a country at will, but it is still a piece of cake to deal with a private enterprise. At this time, O's Agricultural Machinery Factory can still stand up to support them, which shows how much pressure it is under. Chief, I heard that our friend seems to have been boycotted by Israel and Eagle Sauce. Dayev looked at Halia and said in a solemn voice. Dai Yifu already had a good impression of this factory thousands of miles away. This time, as the only private company, the other party traveled thousands of miles to deliver supplies under tremendous pressure. There is an old saying in the Shah kingdom called giving help in times of need. That's what I think it means. Dai Yifu has regarded the other party as a friend from the bottom of his heart. Our friends who support us are being bullied, and we cannot sit idly by and watch. Halia nodded, having an idea in her mind. Deifu, please find someone to come over. I want to make a video to thank the countries on the list and our friends. Israel's blockade of the Gaza region has reached a frenzied level. In order to prevent residents in the Gaza area from speaking out online, Israel has even cut off the internet. This is also the main reason why the world is full of Israeli claims of terrorist attacks by Hamas, but Gaza rarely speaks out. After all, without the internet, it would be useless for them to speak out. But this naturally does not trouble Halia. Although there is no way to speak directly on the internet, they can record videos. Then go to places outside the Gaza area through tunnels and upload to the internet. With Halia's order, Dayev quickly arranged everything. Not long after, a video went viral internationally. The uploader of the video claimed to be a member of the Hamas resistance group. In the video, the member emphatically thanked all the countries that supported Gaia and said that they would never forget this kindness. There was nothing special about this video. If someone helps you, thank them. Makes sense. But what's weird about this video is that the uploader emphatically thanked a private factory at the end. Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory. When we were suffering from Israeli aggression and massacre, in addition to the above countries that extended a helping hand to us, there was also a friend who also helped us. This friend is thousands of miles away. In the Kingdom of Shah. Its full name is Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory, but we prefer to call it, Friends. Our friend is the only private factory to assist us this time. On behalf of the ordinary people in the Gaza area, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to him in the name of the Hamas resistance organization. Quote. In addition, we heard that our friends were boycotted by Israel and Eagle Sauce, which we deeply regret. Single quote. I hereby announce that we will purchase steel pipes from Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory again to support our friends. May the will of Allah guide you, my friend far away in Shah. Single quote. Hope you can get through this and everything goes well. Quote. As soon as this video was released, the international public was dumbfounded. Who doesn't know the reason why Xinjiang and Israel jointly boycotted the Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory? Faced with the address of Xinjiang and Yigyu, this private factory not only refused to give in. Instead, they donated humanitarian aid worth 10 million to the Gaza area. This guy is just using his big mouth to slap Xinjiang and Yiguo in the face. The domineering behavior of Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory shocked many people. The news spread back to China, and domestic netizens were also happy. Good guy. It's okay to donate supplies from Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory, after all, it's just disgusting. But this Hamas resistance organization is interesting. He actually thanked Ichiban Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory alone at the end of the video. This guy is too upright. Unfortunately, what Director Liu donated was not steel pipes. Good guy. Hamas regards Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory as a friend, thank you by name. Tisk, what a treatment. At Oz Agriculture Machinery Factory, please express your thoughts. May the will of Allah guide you. Good guy. Hamas even brought up Allah. It seems that it really wants to make friends. At Aeon Chanical Factory, someone wants to be your friend, agree. PFF haha, the most outrageous thing is that Hamas knew that the Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory was boycotted and threatened to increase the purchase of steel pipes ha. Director Liu, why don't you change the name to Aussie Steel Pipe Factory? With Hamas as a big customer, it will be just around the corner to become one of the world's top 500 companies. Hamas's wave of thanks is true. Director Liu, do you still think you are an agricultural machinery manufacturer? 233, it's true. Oz is a military factory in the name of an agricultural machinery factory. Shut up. Director Liu said they are an agricultural machinery factory QAQ. After many domestic netizens learned that Hamas thanked Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory by name, they all ridiculed it on the internet. This is a path that no one ever imagined. Who would have thought that an agricultural machinery factory could gain the friendship of the internationally famous Hamas? It's simply outrageous to open the door for outrageousness, it's so outrageous. Under the ridicule of netizens, the matter of Oz Agricultural Machinery Factory gains friendship from Hamas quickly became a hot search topic. Inexplicably, Oz 080 Agricultural Machinery Factory has a friend on the other side of the world. Moreover, this friend also wants to increase efforts to purchase steel pipes. This really made netizens burst into laughter. On the other hand, when Lu Ming learned the news, he was completely stunned. Broken. Named by Hamas. Now even if you jump into the Yellow River, you won't be able to clean yourself. For a moment, even Lu Ming himself had a trace of doubt. Could it be that this is really a military factory? Otherwise, how could Hamas, a military organization, call me brothers? Lu Ming smiled bitterly. You don't have to think about it to know that the internet will definitely explode. At this moment, there are definitely many netizens making fun of them as a military factory. But I am really an agricultural machinery factory. The purpose of everything I produce is to support the agriculture, rural areas and rural industries and promote the upgrading of the domestic agricultural industry. We are not a military factory. We are not a military factory. We are not a military factory. Say important things 3 times. Lu Ming couldn't figure out why this happened. He sold agricultural vehicles and was picked up by Damao to install Katyusha rocket launchers. He sells steel pipes, which are used by Hamas to make rockets. I just want to make a little money quietly, why is it so difficult? After the video of Hamas in Gaza was released, it caused huge repercussions internationally. After Yingzhong saw it, he was so angry that he almost vomited blood. Good guy. I can't do anything with the rabbit, but why are you a small factory? If I can't even handle you, how can I have the dignity to hang out on Blue Star? Soon, Yingzhong issued a statement. O's agricultural machinery factory exported contraband steel pipes to the Gaza belt, seriously endangering regional peace. Therefore, we call for a firm boycott of O's agricultural machinery factory to maintain world peace. Quote. After Yingzhong's statement was released, it indeed attracted a lot of attention. Everyone is a little curious about what kind of company can make Yingzhong call for boycott 3 times and 4 times. Many netizens were curious and went to investigate this factory. If you don't check, you won't know. If you check, you will be shocked. Good guy. The agricultural vehicles they produced were used by Damao to pull rocket launchers. The steel pipes they produce are used by the Hamas resistance group to make rockets. What kind of factory is this? Why is it that the products produced by their agricultural machinery factory are always related to the war? Free State of California. As a large agricultural state in a free country, it sells 43 billion agricultural products a year. There are more than 69,400 large and small farms in one state alone. California's agricultural industry accounts for a huge proportion, and the agricultural machinery market here is naturally extremely prosperous. At this time, California's largest agricultural machinery dealer, Yodel Company, was having a meeting. Company director Hoya Smith told several company executives, "Everyone, I plan to introduce a new agricultural vehicle." As he spoke, Chow Ya turned on the projector behind him, and what was displayed on it was a cool-looking agricultural tricycle and how ran. It's 3MX. When several senior executives of the company saw this car, their eyes lit up. As senior agricultural industry practitioners, they naturally saw the uniqueness of this car at a glance. There is no doubt that this vehicle is a small agricultural tricycle. In the current agricultural vehicle market in California, everyone is blindly pursuing large machinery. There are very few small cars like this. Many of the vehicles used on farms are large transport vehicles. Even when transporting a small amount of agricultural tools, straw, small machinery, etc., they are transported in large vehicles. This not only increases cost, but is also inconvenient. But this agricultural tricycle is different. It is compact and convenient, and has a good carrying capacity. It is fully capable of doing some tedious tasks and can just make up for this shortcoming of the farmer. As the largest agricultural machinery dealer in California, these executives naturally saw the huge profits hidden behind this. "Boss, which company produced this?" someone asked at the bottom. The company that produces this vehicle is an agricultural machinery factory in Shaw State, called O's Agricultural Machinery Factory. O's Agricultural Machinery Factory. Why does this name sound familiar? Several executives looked at me and I looked at you, and they all saw a trace of suspicion in each other's eyes. Suddenly, everyone reacted. Isn't this the Shaw State enterprise that the official just issued a statement calling for a boycott? Just tell me why this name is so familiar. Feelings are it. Boss, wouldn't this be great? An executive smiled bitterly and said helplessly. The car is a good car, and the profit behind it is also amazing. But I can't resist Yingzhong. When Chow Ya heard this, he smiled slightly. Everyone, I have consulted a lawyer. The lawyer told me that although officials called on everyone to boycott this company, they did not issue a formal document prohibiting it. In other words, this is just a verbal boycott and has no legal effect. Joya's words caused silence in everyone in the office. They were not stupid and easily understood the meaning of Hoya's words. The official boycott is a boycott, and we openly agree with it. But this does not affect our cooperation with each other behind the scenes. Anyway, the official just called for it and did not strictly prohibit it. In other words, their boycott is in response to the country's call, and cooperation with the other party is in line with normal business models. As long as they don't break the law, even the authorities can't do anything to them. To be honest, after listening to Joya's words, the executives of Yodel were a little moved. But there was still some hesitation. After all, the official is calling on everyone to boycott this company. Their introduction of this car is tantamount to a slap in the official face. Everyone, this car can completely make up for the shortcomings of the market. Think about the terrifying profits behind this. If we succeed, each of us can get hundreds of millions of dollars. And if we don't do it, who can guarantee that other dealers won't do it? When the time comes, it's up to us whether Jodel can keep the #1 position. Seeing that everyone's expressions had softened, Chaoya immediately added to his anger. As soon as these words came out, the company executives no longer hesitated. As Joya said, the profits behind this are simply amazing. Businessmen pursue profits, even more so for them. The temptation hidden behind this is too great. If they don't do it, other dealers will definitely do it. Instead of that, why don't you be the first to eat crabs? It's better to make money yourself than to be jealous of others making money, right? If they give up this billion-dollar market cake just to respond to official calls, then they would be too stupid. If you don't make money, you're a fool. They are businessmen, not politicians. They only have money and profit in their eyes. Besides, just do it if it is not prohibited by law. The official is just calling for it, but there is no strict prohibition, so what are you afraid of? Several executives immediately agreed to Joya's plan to introduce new cars. Not only California, similar things are happening simultaneously in other major states. Not only Eagle Sauce, but also some countries in Europe with developed farmer economies are performing this kind of drama, please promise. Under the operation of these dealers, Lu Ming's phone kept ringing. At first, Lu Ming was still wondering why there were so many international orders suddenly. Didn't Yingjiang unite with many younger brothers to boycott him? Why did they all come here to buy a car for themselves? Could it be that Yingjiang has lifted the sanctions against itself? With doubts, Lu Ming asked a foreign dealer to find out. The result made him dumbfounded. Good guy. The boycott statement issued by Yingjiang was actually an advertisement for itself. Many dealers only found out about their O's agricultural machinery factory because of Yingjiang's boycott statement, and then discovered the 3MX Mayan and desert crossing vehicles, and finally decided to place an order. After understanding everything, Lu Ming was immediately relieved. Eagle Sauce. I was wrong. You actually give me free advertising, what a good person. Soon, O's agricultural machinery factory issued an announcement. At the same time, Lu Ming also reposted the announcement on his private Weibo. Warmly celebrate that our factory's international orders have reached a new high. Orders for 3MX Mayan exceeded 30,000 units. Orders for Desert Crossing exceeded 5,000 units. On this occasion of celebration, we would like to express our special thanks to the following dealers for their strong support to our factory. Eagle Sauce California Yodel Dealer, 5003 MX Mayan, 500 Desert Crossing. Yingjiang Ihei Kanjin Dealer in Huazhou, 2003 MX Vehicles. In response to the Imperial Camus Agricultural Machinery Dealer, 4003 MX units and 600 Desert Crossing units. Angalia Dealer in Kangaroo Country, 1000 units of 3MX and 100 units of Desert Crossing. Philippine Yajia Agricultural Machinery Dealer, 503 MX units. Hansgo Andrew Dealer, 503 MX vehicles and 500 Desert Crossing vehicles. Single quote. As soon as this announcement came out, the first thing to notice was the Chinese melon eaters. Everyone's first reaction when they saw this announcement was disbelief. Yingjiang 160 is clearly boycotting the products of O's agricultural machinery factory, so how can it possibly buy it? However, after some research, everyone found out that this horse riding is real. And in just a short time, orders have increased. The orders reported in the announcement of O's agricultural machinery factory are still underreported. What the hell is going on? After everyone got to know more about it, they found that this matter also started with the boycott of Yingjiang. It turns out that the boycott of Eagle Sauce has aroused the curiosity of many foreigners. Everyone wants to know what kind of factory is so awesome that Yingjiang can issue a statement to boycott it. Could it be the second, Warwick? It doesn't matter if we don't check it. If we check it, the foreigner won't be able to sit still. Because they found that the products produced by this factory were simply their dream cars. Whether it is 3MX Mayan or Desert Crossing, they have aroused great interest and demand among foreigners. As a result, major dealers contacted O's agricultural machinery factory one after another to place orders. After the truth came out, the water friends were confused. What kind of cool operation is this? What about the promised boycott? Why do I look at Yingjiang? This doesn't look like a boycott, but it's actually helping O's bring goods. PFF'd haha. Yingjiang is really far ahead in this wave of reverse sales. Do you think Yingjiang is boycotting AOC? Wrong. They are promoting AOC in disguise. 666, Yingjiang's operation is ahead of the previous version for at least 10 years. Eagle Chan, we wrongly blamed you, you are a good person. I'm sorry Ying Chan, it's hard for me not to praise you for this operation. I thought it was Bugatti that made a three-wheeler, but it turned out that O's agricultural machinery factory went global. I'm afraid Ying Chan has already vomited blood by now, ha ha ha. Yingjiang resisted with his front legs, but these dealers stabbed them with their back legs. They were slapped in the face. Please tell me about the psychological shadow area of Yingjiang at this time. Netizens are also watching the excitement and don't mind it. Under Lu Ming's Weibo, many netizens spontaneously left messages saying, Yingjiang, you are a good person. Some good-hearted netizens even posted at Yingjiang's embassy in Shaw. When the embassy spread the news back to China, Yingjiang was completely confused. Yingjiang, what about the boycott you promised? Dai Ying, I boycotted it. Yingjiang, so what's going on with this order? Dai Ying, this. Hans Guo, did you buy it? France, you bought it too. Kangaroo country, everyone bought it. Yingjiang, traitor, they are all traitors. Hans Guo, Yingjiang, you are also here, and you account for the majority of the orders. Eagle Sauce, Yu Guo, isn't it a boycott? What kind of showmanship are you doing? Banksy country, this car was developed by our Banksy country. White Elephant Kingdom, good AEFH guys. Did you secretly drink our Ganges water? Did you drink too much? Foot pot chicken, should I buy a few to show off? Rabbit, Eagle Sauce, I blamed you wrongly, you are a good person. Yingjiang, Rabbit, get out of here. I'm not a good person, Don't give me a good person card. The list of thanks from O's agricultural machinery factory was spread internationally, and Yingjiang and other friends were shocked. Good guy. Did you agree to boycott the O's agricultural machinery factory together and contribute to world peace? In the end, you turned around and placed the order, right? Can there be more trust between people? Yingjiang was originally prepared to reprimand these disobedient brothers. As a result, I turned around and discovered that I was the one who placed the largest order. In an instant, Ying Chan's words of condemnation were forcefully suppressed. We are all in the same boat, no one should laugh at anyone. According to the list, Eagle Sauce found its own dealer and talked. As a result, the answers given by these dealers were surprisingly consistent. What does your call for a boycott of O's agricultural machinery have to do with our purchase of 3MX and Desert Crossing? In a word, you are calling but not prohibiting. You responded to the call to boycott O's agricultural machinery factory, but this did not affect our order placement at all. The dealer's backstab really confused Yingjiang. Yingjiang was furious, but there was nothing he could do against these dealers. At the same time, Brother Moxie also responded to Yingjiang's call, and he was one of the few honest people among Yingjiang's brothers and did not place an order. However, in the Sinaloa state of Mexico, a group of honest farmers also noticed this incident. One of the young farmers named Christopher had a more flexible mind and immediately said to the boss Gushman, "Boss, I think these two vehicles are very suitable for us to transport goods. Look at this desert traverser that can travel on all terrains. It can go on any road, and it is small and flexible and difficult to be discovered. This three-wheeler can be disguised as an agricultural vehicle and is even less likely to be detected. It is perfect for us. When Gushman heard this, his eyes suddenly lit up. Yes, why didn't I think of that? You boy is simply a talent. So Gushman immediately made a decision and decided to send Christopher to Shah Guo to purchase these two cars in person. Before leaving, Gushman also gave Christopher a lot of advice. Shao Ke, be careful when going out. When you get to Shah country, please don't say that we are the Sinaloa cartel. Just say that we are farmers, and we are all honest farmers. If the other party asks us what we grow, just say tea. If they ask us why we bought the car, you can tell us that it is to transport goods between Mexico and Eagle Sauce and sell processed agricultural products. Understand? Thanks for watching, subscribe and support my channel.